What's good, y'all? It's your boy Reek got options. And like I always say, whether the market's up or down, we see green. And today the semiconductor's seen a lot of red because it came out that OpenAI missed on its revenue. But middle of the day, they said that's cap. We're coming back firing all cylinders because y'all not gonna play with our name like that. We're gonna make some money. And that caused a little bit of semiconductors to start pumping up. But before we get to that, let's talk about SPY because it is getting a little thin up here. The air is getting thin up here to the highs. Look what we got going on. We came straight up, boom. And then now we're gonna set up this ascending wedge and then drop. All right, you're gonna see something like that. It's a little sloppy right here, but most likely we can come up to like the 715, possibly 720 area. We've been talking about that, and then drop because you can't just keep pumping with no volume, and that's what we're getting. And then you look at the non-EMA right here, you will see that we're starting to get a slight little curve in here. So once that 9EMA starts sloping down like that, we break below 709.22 because we're holding support right here. So once we break below 709 and then we get down to 703, that's when the real party gets started, and we can come down to about, where was this high at over here? 697, 698, and then boom, 690. I like 690 that for us to start selling off because we'll be under the 21 EMA. Looking at NVIDIA, it dropped as one of those semiconductors name that's partnered with OpenAI, and they came all the way down to support at 208. So the charts, even though that bad news came out, the charts still reign supreme. Technicals reign supreme because what do? We closed here on Friday. We bottomed out right here on Monday, and then today, Tuesday, we found another bottom right here. So until we get on 208, NVIDIA is very, very bullish, running all the way up until earnings on May 20th. So be on the lookout for that. Also, once you get past this alert right here at 214, we can get back up to the highs around this area, around 216, 217, and then boom, you're just going to blow the top off situation, and NVIDIA is going to run all the way up to about 230 in the upcoming weeks. Checking out Qualcomm, same thing. Now, the reason why it's the same thing as NVIDIA, they were also a part of that news when it came to OpenAI and revenue. If everybody's partnering with OpenAI, right, and then you hear that their revenue is horrible, then you're going to sell off. So when you have big sell-offs due to headlines, that means people were selling, they were panicking, and then they bought back in. They bought back in right here at the support at 143, just like the support at 143 made everything run up for QCOM on Friday. All right, we did break all the way out of the 200 and the 400 EMA on the daily, and we came back down here, but now we're just holding this area. You get over 151 of Qualcomm, it is going to run. Back to the news portion though. When you have a bad headline, it's going to be panic, then you're going to retrace. So you're going to go back up. When you have a good headline and then this euphoria, you're going to buy, and then sell. People are going to take profit. Google has earnings coming up on Wednesday, and it's still trying to go up. All right, now Google needs to get out of 353 before it can go any higher. Earnings could cause a big sell, not because Google's going to do bad or anything like that, but implied validity. You have the pre-earnings run up. I told you we need to get the pre-earnings run up 4 weeks ahead of time. All right, and so that's what we're going to be on. We're going to be the 4 weeks before the pre-earnings run up. We bounce up the 200 EMA on the daily chart Monday, March 30th, and look at us right now. We are up. So if we take the 66618 range, right, we highlight this up here and we bring it down right here. This is the breakout level. We have to break out of this 350 area, okay? And it seems like we're having trouble doing that. If we break below that 350 area, then we're coming back down to 343. Under 343, next stop would be this structure right here, this brick structure at 335. You see how 335 held? This is how beautifully the 66618 range works. Under this 335 area, we're just going to flush all the way down here and find support at 322 and fill this little gap and then start running back up with Google. So be on point with that. If you're playing the pre-earnings run up right now, it is all good to take your profits, sit on cash, and do not get burned. Okay, Tesla, it is consolidating at support. What do? When you consolidate at support, you go long. The best thing to do is play these EMAs to the upside, either the 21, the 9, the 50, or the 200. What I think is going to happen is Tesla is just going to get a crazy pop up to the 200 EMA to like about 390. Then it's going to figure out if it wants to go up all the way back to 405 or come back down to this 375 area. So again, this is support holding right here. It is becoming strong. Last time it was very, very weak. If we do break down from here, then boom. Next level is 364. After 364, we are falling to 357 before we do anything at the 66618 range right here and my 400 EMA on the daily. Microsoft, bull pennant. All right, we have this nice structure right here. It's looking very, very beautiful. Okay, we can just highlight this and boom, we're sitting at the 78% retracement level on my multi-year, and we have to break out of this 433 level. Mainly, to be honest, we need to break out of this 442 area in order to start going up, because if we zoom out, guess what we got going on? We have a head and shoulders pattern. Okay, left shoulder has formed, right shoulder is forming. If we don't break out and we get the invalidation of this move, we're going to sell off. Okay, and we're going to come all the way back down to about like 385, and I like to go to 385 in order to get some more calls for the long term. Everything's looking good. I think it's too easy for all the stocks to just run up, you know, after earnings and everything, but I could be wrong. But the air is getting thin. I do think a market correction is coming soon, because everybody's pricing everything in when it comes to war, when it comes to oil prices and all that. All right, back to SPY. Pay attention to these levels. We are at the highs. The air is getting thin, and then once the air gets thin, you're just going to pass out. Bulls are going to pass out, and they're just going to fall, and then the bears are going to go on a vicious run. So right now, SPY is in a situation to where, yes, it can consolidate, but it has to just keep going up, because if it doesn't keep going up and it has some bad days, everybody's going to start selling and taking their profit. So appreciate y'all. Click that link in the bio to subscribe to the Discord, get your 7-day free trader pass, and also hit that like and subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram, Reed Got Options. And like I always say, whether the market's up or down, we see green.